Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to break down the absolutely fascinating biology of the female breast. We're doing this completely free of stigma and, honestly, just packing it with empowering, straightforward facts. We'll explore how this anatomy really functions, its incredible true biological purpose, and most importantly, how you can protect it.
Okay, so here is our agenda. We'll start with the miracle of breastfeeding, normalize shape and size, and then talk about breast cancer awareness. After that, we'll walk through the exact steps for self-examination, and finally look at aging and true biological purpose.
Section 1. The Miracle of Breastfeeding.
We're kicking things off with one of nature's absolute coolest processes. The way the female body gears up to nurture a new life is, well, it's basically a highly coordinated biological symphony. When a baby is hungry, a signal reaches the nipple and essentially sends a direct text message to the brain's pituitary gland. The gland instantly responds by pumping out oxytocin. Think of oxytocin as the chemical messenger that literally turns the body into a flawless nutritional factory. It triggers the whole milk production process, creating this instant, deeply connected biological response between mother and child.
Now, in those early days of feeding, the body produces exactly half a liter of milk a day. It's kind of mind-blowing. It calculates the exact need, perfectly portioning out that half liter to completely satisfy and nourish a standard 7-pound newborn.
But here's where it gets really smart. The body doesn't just stick to that initial half liter forever. It intelligently adapts. As the baby grows and gets heavier, milk volume goes right up with it. Even the actual makeup of the milk changes. Calcium levels spike specifically to help build the baby's growing bones and aid in blood production. The body is completely set up to provide perfect nutrition, lacking only a tiny bit of specific vitamins and iron for up to 8.5 months. You know, interestingly, a lot of mothers find they're ready to stop the process after about 2.5 months, even though the body is totally prepared to keep going for another 6. But biology is nothing if not efficient. When the feeding eventually stops and there's no more demand, the body just quietly closes up shop and goes back to its resting state.
Section 2. Normalizing shape and size. Understanding all that incredible functionality really helps us clear up some super common societal anxieties about physical form. The absolute crucial number here is 6. 6 ounces is the completely normal average weight of a breast for women up until the age of 40 or 50. Look, so many women deal with anxiety, worrying they're unusually large or unusually small compared to some completely made-up standard. But knowing this biological baseline of 6 ounces should honestly help put a lot of those worries to rest. Unless you're dealing with highly unusual heaviness or looseness during these years, your body is very likely doing exactly what it's supposed to do.
Now, if medical intervention is genuinely something you're looking into for unusual sizes, there's a massive and quite frankly dangerous contrast in how it's handled. For smaller sizes, some highly irresponsible surgeons use totally unsafe methods, like injecting liquid silicone straight into the tissue. A responsible medical pro would literally never endorse that. No way. On the flip side, when dealing with unusually large sizes that actually require a reduction, responsible surgeons use a complex, highly regulated operation. It's a safe method where they carefully remove excess fat, have a cosmetic surgeon correct the shape, and safely transplant the nipples right back to their proper anatomical spot.
Section 3. Breast cancer awareness.
It is absolutely critical that we face this health threat head-on, but we're going to do it focusing on empowerment and proactive care. While it's true, the breast has a higher likelihood of developing cancer than many other parts of the body, and it does account for a large number of cancer fatalities in women, that shouldn't just scare us, it should empower us to act. Because thanks to modern medicine, early action is our absolute strongest defense. Catching it early makes prevention and treatment highly successful.
So you need to know the critical warning signs to actively look for. We're talking about lumps, sudden dimples, unusual swelling, a nipple that shrinks, twists, or inverts, or literally any unusual discharge. Catching these early is everything. If you notice any of these, don't wait. It should prompt an immediate trip to the doctor. Seriously, do not ignore these signs.
But, and this is a big but, here is exactly why you shouldn't panic or jump to the worst conclusion if you do happen to feel a lump. There is only a 1 in 3 chance that a newly discovered lump is actually cancer. 2/3 of the time, it's entirely benign. That being said, it is definitely not an excuse to skip the doctor's visit. If it does turn out to be cancer, jumping on treatment immediately drastically drops the danger level.
And even if it is cancer, you have to hear this survival metric. 85%. Yes, 85% of early-stage breast cancer operations provide a 5-year guarantee of survival. That is a massive, amazing testament to the power of modern medicine. and it's exactly why being hypervigilant about your health pays off so incredibly well.
Section 4. Step-by-step self-examination.
Because early detection is the absolute key to hitting that 85% survival rate, we're going to learn exactly how to do it yourself right at home. First up, we got to talk about timing, because it's a real game changer for accuracy. Setting a specific routine ensures your body is in its most neutral baseline state. You want to do this once a month, ideally on the exact same date every single month. Specifically, 2 days after your monthly cycle ends.
All right, let's get into the actual steps. It's super straightforward. First, you're going to lie completely flat on your back. Second, grab a pillow and pop it directly under your left shoulder. Third, use the fingers of your right hand to gently but thoroughly examine your left breast. Step 4, just switch sides. Move the pillow under your right shoulder and use your left hand to check your right side. Take your time with this. You're feeling for any of those lumps or dimples we talked about just a minute ago. With a little guidance from your doctor and some regular practice, you'll become an absolute expert at knowing your own body.
Section 5. Aging and True Purpose.
Let's wrap up by looking at how the body naturally evolves over time. There is a completely natural biological progression to aging. In youth and motherhood, the body holds high fat reserves and is totally primed for milk production. Then, as a woman reaches menopause, it is entirely normal, expected really, for those fat reserves to diminish, which obviously alters the shape. Post-menopause, the tissue naturally becomes looser and shrinks. I really want to emphasize this. That loosening and shrinking after menopause, it is not a defect. It's exactly what is supposed to happen as the body transitions through its natural phases.
You know, society so often views this part of the body purely as a matter of pride or beauty. But the true underlying biological purpose, the real reason this incredibly complex anatomy even exists, is profound. Its literal job is to provide the absolute best medicine and the freshest possible food to completely helpless tiny humans. And once that incredible task is finished and the baby stops needing it, the biological factory simply powers down.
So, what does this all mean for us? You now know the magnificent biological purpose of your body. You know how it adapts and exactly how to monitor it. So, to take absolute, fearless charge of your health moving forward, I have to ask you, will you commit to your monthly self-examination starting today? Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Protect your health, trust your biology, and stay curious.